Welcome back to Doc's Hot Shop and Forge. So today we're going to finish off the Viking hammer, so the Mastermyr find item number 67, which is a small 400 gram cross peen. That's it there. Now unfortunately yesterday when I was actually finishing this off, I forgot to charge the microphone, and so the sound quality is non-existent, so I'm going to have to record a voiceover, so you have to put up with that when we get to the actual work portion. But the aim is to file the main face, give it a slight crown, sand it and finish it all down to about 240 grit. Do the same with the cross peen, take out a few nasty deep peen marks from drawing out this surface here, tidy up the eye so it looks more or less symmetrical and doesn't have any of the big divots from the false start when I was punching the eye. So if you missed that part, you'll have to go back to part 1 and find that. Suffice to say it's about 5 minutes in, maybe a little bit more, so go look for that. But the aim is to get this ready to get this heat treated today and ready for a handle. I am looking into sourcing some ash to make some proper period correct handles for the hammers that I'll be making for this set. So far I haven't found anything a domestic supplier within Australia. I do have a couple of suppliers overseas that I'm looking into. The handles themselves are relatively cheap. The shipping on the other hand, not so cheap, but that's for the future. So let's get this into the vise, let's get it finished, and let's get on with it. So at this point I'm filing out the very slight bird mouth that I had on the striking face of the hammer, just using a coarse bastard file. So this was just gross material removal. As I went, I was frequently checking to make sure that I remained perpendicular in both axes. I won't show you the whole lot, so this will cut through several times, but generally filing is what filing is. It's pretty rapid, it's fairly controlled, and can lead to quite a good result. Continuing with the striking face, I've now switched over to a second cut file just to leave a smoother surface so the sanding won't take as much effort. At this point I'm also filing in the crown profile for the striking face. So again, it's more filing, it's ongoing, yeah. So at this point I've finished with filing, I'm now sanding, so I'm working my way through the grits on each of the cross peen and the striking face and the back of the peen end, which I had to file out some deep hammer marks or peening marks from drawing it out in the initial phases. So this is just a progression of working my way through the grits. So continuing with the sanding, this is basically just working my way through the grits. I think by this stage I might have been at or about the 240 grits mark. I know I'm getting close to
to the point where I'm finishing off, and it's just, yeah, lots and lots of elbow grease at this stage. There's not much you can do about it. Hand sanding is a matter of just continuing. So at this stage I'm just finishing off the cross peen. It's the larger surface area and just required a little more work. Took it out to 240 grit, and that's where I decided to leave it. I won't be etching the hammer because that would mean finishing off all the faces to the same level, so it's easy to get the quench scale off prior to etching, so there's no oil. So at this point I'm lighting the forge, getting ready to preheat the oil, so I'm just putting a big lump of hot metal in there. I've only got 4 litres of vegetable oil, so it doesn't take much heat to bring it up to temperature. This was barely smoking, so probably about 300 degrees Celsius when I immersed it. And I just left it in there for the duration. Unfortunately, you don't get to see the actual quenching of the hammer head because I forgot to move the camera. So at this point I'm heating up the hammerhead. I'm just doing it slowly and gently, so lots of frequent turning. It's just got to be done this way so that we don't overheat anything. Continuing to heat it. I've given it a bit of a brushing at this point just to make sure there's minimal scale. In a moment I take it out and quench it, which unfortunately I forgot to move the camera for, so you don't actually get to see this part. Again, it's frequent turnings, as you'll see. Flip it over, and so we just continue with the heating. Any moment now I'll be taking it out to quench. So I think this is it here. So yep, nicely uniform, and
we've now heat treated. It's been heated, quenched, tempered to 240 degrees, which is, from memory, around about 450 odd degrees Fahrenheit. It's a dark straw nonetheless, edging towards bronze. They shouldn't quite get to bronze. Being a wrought iron body, don't have to worry about drawing a further temper on the ears or the sides of the eye, because it's much like mild steel, it shouldn't have hardened at all. The faces have been sanded back again to take the scale from quenching in oil off, so they're at 240 grit. I won't be taking them any further because 240 grit works quite nicely on a forging hammer, leaves a nice smooth finish. I find that anything more just doesn't last, it doesn't seem to be worth the effort. So, barring putting a handle on this, unfortunately I'm still looking into sourcing supply of some ash. This project is finished. Trying to decide whether I go with spoon bits, which are a very primitive drill bit, of which there was a series of them in that find, so I was going to make those, or whether I go and continue with the hammers. We'll have to see, so wait for the next video. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Please do share on social media, and do hit the subscribe button, which should be right up there, big orange box, so you get notified when the next video drops. And do get out to your shop, do have fun, but do stay safe. And I'll see you for the next